Once, at a New Year's Eve party, my tipsy friend was very excited to pop open the champagne at midnight. Well, he must have been a little too rough with the bottle, because the cork fired out of it like a bullet, bounced off the ceiling, bounced off the wall, then hit him square in the nuts. Even drunk, he said it still hurt like hell. My 4-year-old decided one spring day that he was going to work in the garden. So, he got into his closet and took out all his plastic kid garden tools, rakes, shovels, etc. Took them all out to the backyard and threw them all on the ground. It took him a couple of trips, and when he was done, he accidentally stepped on his rake, which then smacked him in the face. He turned around and did the same to his shovel. It was like that Sideshow Bob scene in The Simpsons. It was hilarious. Doubly so because I had to contain my laughter while consoling him. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a huge laughing smile on my face while he was crying. Once back in high school, I was with a couple of friends visiting one of their parents, who lived out in the Georgia sticks. We did this as often as we could because his dad and stepmom were super nice and generous people. They lived in a trailer with a built-on deck about 4 feet off the ground, and a very small staircase off to one side. Anyways, this friend's drunken uncle came out of the trailer, stepped off the side of the deck, and just planted into the ground. No attempt to brace himself, no apparent recognition that he was even falling, just a full prone body slap into the dirt. About 15 seconds later, he gets up and yells, "Damn it, Bobby! Build the goddamn steps all the way across this motherfucker." Yeah, drunk uncle, as though the steps were the problem. We laughed for quite a while at this event. My group of friends and I decided to have what we called a blowout weekend. We traveled across the country to visit a friend. We took a few ounces of weed with us. Once we arrived, we smoked back to back until 2 a.m., then went to sleep. 2 of us woke up the next morning around 7 and started getting breakfast ready. We noticed that one of our buddies had fallen asleep sitting upright on the sofa. So we rolled another joint, put it in his mouth, and lit it up. He took one puff in his sleep, woke up, looked around for a bit totally confused, shrugged his shoulders, and then just started smoking normally. My sister and I hit up the gym one morning to use the treadmills, and it was her first time wearing her brand new running shoes. We're fine for the first 20 minutes or so, but then she starts complaining that her shoes feel loose. 5 minutes go by when her left shoe flies off her foot, directly into the face of a passing person, followed by her falling down and getting shot right off the treadmill. That person, my sister and I, all busted out into laughter. It's truly the funniest thing I'd ever seen. When I'm sad, I think about it, and I'm instantly happier. I went on a night hike with a friend while we were camping with our families. I think we were 12 or 13 at the time. For whatever reason, we went and sat behind a porta potty so we could smoke some weed. About 5 minutes in, this older couple came up but didn't notice us. Husband waited outside while his wife went in to use the porta potty. Not knowing anyone was out there, she didn't hold back. She unleashed her rectal wrath, and it sounded atrocious. The best part about it, though, was that the husband had the funniest comments during the whole ordeal. Like, "Damn, babe, what did you eat? Oof, that's gonna itch later. You sure as hell ain't sleeping with me in the tent tonight." Our giggles turned into hysterical laughter, and she finally asks, "Who the hell is that?" The husband walks around and starts laughing with us, saying, "Oh, damn, you boys heard all that. You're ruined for life." Simultaneously, one of the grossest and funniest experiences of my life. Me and my sister were at my dad's house. My dad's girlfriend at the time had this massive dog that would eat literally anything. And, well, that dog took a gigantic, nasty dump full of plastic bits, cloth bits, and everything else you can imagine right on the front lawn. My sister looks at it, commenting that it was the most disgusting dog crap she's ever seen. A couple hours later, we were leaving to do something. My sister cuts across the yard, steps in it, does a cartoon banana peel like slip backwards and lands right in the crap pile. She immediately started crying because shit was all over her jeans, new jacket, and expensive shoes. I couldn't stop laughing for like 5 minutes straight, and unfortunately, she kicked my ass when we got home over it. But it was worth it.
The funniest thing I have ever witnessed to date was when I went to Edinburgh for the weekend with 3 other girls to celebrate one of their 21st birthdays. It was an early flight from Cardiff at like 5 a.m, so none of us had slept, and we were walking through the city to our hotel all pretty quiet, dragging our bags, dying for a nap. There was a Domino's pizza shop we were about to walk past, and this pretty buff guy comes out carrying a pizza. Another guy on a push bike comes screaming up on the pavement and smashes right into him. The pizza goes flying up into the air, comes out of the box and splats onto the pavement like a cartoon. Both guys get back on their feet, then the one starts pedaling off while the buff guy starts legging after him shouting, "Come here, you bastard," in the heaviest Scottish accent you have ever heard. He just ditched the pizza on the ground. I just remember us 4 girls howling with laughter for a good few minutes. We just continued erupting into fits of laughter all the way to the hotel. It was cinematic.
I was hanging out in South Beach. It was absolutely packed. Suddenly, I see some dude doing a wheelie on his crotch rocket bike. Unknown to him, he didn't see the Miami Beach police trike right in front of him. He slams on his brakes but still hits the trike, sending the Miami cop rolling off his trike backwards, feet overhead. Crotch rocket guy falls off, his bike too, landing right next to the cop. He didn't even get up, just rolled onto his stomach and put his hands behind his back. The policeman gets up and cuffs him. The whole beach was laughing their asses off. A few years back, a friend and I went for some drinks in a park when we see a gathering with a screen set up and a bunch of people waiting around. It was some sort of hipster photo or video show. We decided to check it out and sat down to wait for it to get dark and start. It turns out that this was a sort of guerrilla type production, and they didn't have permits or any coordination with the parks department. So, as it gets dark, the show starts. After no more than 2 minutes in, all the sprinklers popped out of the field and started spraying. One poor woman got a direct blast from about 3 feet away, and everyone had to scramble out. My friend and I were on the edge, so we stayed dry, but many in the middle were trapped for a couple minutes. We just sat there and watched the chaos unfold.